Journal article critique: Behavioral responses of terrestrial mammals to COVID-19 lockdown. COVID-19. What started as a non-threatening epidemic quickly turned into a deadly worldwide pandemic. In response to the contagious virus, the world went into lockdown mode. Traveling was highly restricted, and people were confined to the solitude of their own homes to stop the spread. But what happened to the animals? How did they react to the sudden disappearance of humans? For years, humans have dramatically affected the environment of animals by building roads and urban areas. This has caused animals' habitats to be disrupted and has led animals to avoid areas of travel or high levels of human activity. The article Behavioral Responses of Terrestrial Mammals to COVID-19 Lockdowns by Marlee A. Tucker and other researchers tested the impact that the reduction of human mobility during COVID affected wildlife's behavioral movements, specifically on roads. The methodology that was used in this article included 2,300 terrestrial mammals ranging from 43 species. 76 studies of these animals were conducted using GPS. Tracking of the behaviors began when the first lockdown in 2020 was mandated and was being compared to the year before. These animals were tracked for an average of 59 days. As the article states, we focused on two behaviors: displacement distance, straight line distance between two consecutive GPS locations, and distance to the nearest roads. Displacements were measured at 1-hour intervals and another at 10-day intervals. The expected result was that areas with a high human footprints index and strict lockdowns would have more behavioral responses. Results for the 1-hour displacements showed a 12% decrease, meaning that behaviors like avoidance were reduced. For the 10-day displacement in areas of strict lockdowns, they increased because of the lack of people going out. In less strict areas, displacements were lower because of people opting for places with more space. They did find that areas with a high human footprints index showed that animals were 36% closer to roads. Some behaviors that animals showed were relaxed avoidance, animals had more access to landscape, and animals were closer to roads. Tucker and her team were successful in showing that human travel had an effect on wildlife behavior. Tucker's article had many strong qualities, including the use of different relevant indexes that could have possibly had an effect on the result. Another strong point in the article was the use of the 95th percentile in their data to eliminate animal patterns such as sleeping. The article was clear and well structured with many credible references and previous studies. However, this does not mean that it did not have its flaws. For instance, most of the data collected was in North American and European regions. Furthermore, COVID-19 restrictions were based on the country, and it did not account for any local COVID-19 mandates. Tucker also notes that these results are context dependent, meaning that the behavior varied across species. We believe that the article could have narrowed the number of species tested to have more precise results. In conclusion, the article did prove that human travel affected how species behave in areas with a high human footprint. Because of COVID, this decreased, and animals' tracks started gradually getting closer to roads because of the lack of humans. The wounds that COVID-19 has left on the entire world are still very fresh. It severely impacted everyone, causing each one of us to change our lifestyles. The article not only talks about how COVID-19 impacted animals, but shows how animals have changed their own habitats because of us. We have constantly interfered with their natural habitat, and it has led them to adjust their lifestyle and accommodate to ours. While the COVID-19 lockdown only lasted 2 years, the effects we as humans have made on animals cannot be changed back. This article provided a new form of environmental awareness as to how we have intruded into their daily lives. This video project personally helped me to learn how to efficiently dissect journal articles in order to absorb the main ideas better. Before, articles seemed like a pain to read, but when coming up with this script, I thoroughly read the article and translated it into a video.
This article made me realize how much human mobility affects animal behavior and how quickly animals can adapt to changing conditions. It also made me curious about the long-term consequences of the lockdowns on wildlife populations and ecosystems. I think this article is important for raising awareness and informing policy decisions regarding human-wildlife coexistence.
Agreeing with what my team members said, Tucker made this article very resourceful, making it easy to dissect and read. Adding on, during COVID-19, we as a society were so self-centered in our world and lives, not realizing what or how other species were affected. Personally, this specific article and the creation of this video project made me realize how much animals, nature, and anything around us were affected. I was able to open my eyes and realize now all that goes around us, and not just as a human population, but to mammals and any other animals as well.